started filming and then I stopped filming and then I had a meeting and then I finished the meeting and we're back again. So today I actually want to talk about networking and the importance of maintaining certain relationships to evolve in your professional and also your personal life. Based on the title of this video, how I say your colleagues can make you a millionaire, that's absolutely true. And I'm going to start this video by telling you guys a little story. So, a lot of the jobs that I've gotten in the past, 5 years, I generally did not apply to them. I either was reached out to by a recruiter who I've maintained a really great relationship with throughout the past 5 years, or I was reached out to a colleague who I used to work with, went to a different organization and decided to bring me into that organization as a consultant or a full-time employee. This is all the results of me having really great relationships. And I personally don't like to use the word like network too much because it politicizes the process of just getting to know people, finding some sort of mutual ground and connecting with them based on that and maintaining a friendship or some sort of relationship. If you've been watching my content for a while, you know that I generally am not the kind of person who trusts many coworkers, especially early in your career. And that's something that I'm going to do like a deeper dive about in terms of certain relationships based on your level of status. The truth of the matter is, if you are actively trying to climb the corporate ladder, you should be weary of certain colleagues who are also trying to do the same thing because they're directly your competition. If you're working with people who don't really care that much and they're kind of cool just coasting, you could build a relationship with them, but you have to monitor whether or not they get annoyed by your ambition, because that's also possible. So it's really just about having like really good discernment. But I mentioned all of that to say I generally am wary of certain coworkers and I won't be like too close to them when we are working together. But if I felt like we had a good professional connection or personal connection or we bonded over something, I'll maintain that relationship after I leave an organization. The second regulatory job or the third regulatory job I ever had while I was working in grad school, I still talk to that coworker to this day, and they're still at that organization that we used to work at together. We get dinner together. I would even invite them to my wedding. I went to their 35th birthday party, I think, with my fiance. We have like a good friendship. We connected on dating and family and certain dynamics, but our relationship really grew a lot stronger and more personal after I left the organization. Now, I don't maintain relationships with people just based on the fact that I'm going to get something from them, that one day eventually they're going to help me get a new job or anything like that. And I think that's one thing that people make a really huge mistake in when it comes to actually building a network or maintaining relationships. You seek people that you directly want something from. You seek people that you directly feel like have so much value. And I don't feel like that's a smart way to work on building a relationship. It's like trying to find friends and you only want to hang out with the friends who have a lot of money or who you feel like you'll be able to upgrade your social status or class with. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to feel used. And I think that's why a lot of people, especially in our generation, fail to maintain good relationships and networks because it's all targeted on how can you help me? How can you serve me? Me. The other caveat to that is I think a lot of people focus on themselves, as I already said, but not thinking about how you can also help the person that you're trying to build a relationship with. So I gave you that intro to give context of how having really great relationships in my professional career have honestly helped me gain opportunities, never have to worry about finding a job because I've really bonded well with people that I've worked with in the past, and I'm good at like speaking to them still to this day, even when I don't need anything, just checking on them, checking on their kids, saying, hey, how are you? I have a couple friends that live in San Diego, and now I'm seeing that the LA fires are spreading to San Diego. So all my colleagues that I know that live there, because that's a big biotech hub, I'm going to check on them. If there's something that's happening in Boston or Massachusetts, I'm going to check on those colleagues that live there because that's also a huge biotech hub. And also I generally like these people too. So I only maintain relationships with people that I've worked with previously that I actually do like and have some sort of like connection or connectivity with. Oh, speaking of, one of my colleagues that lives in another state just messaged me. They said, I miss working with you. I really enjoyed working together. This is in context as talking about another program that we had worked on together. So this is like a continued conversation. But they actually checked on me because of the LA fires, and then that just sparked a regular conversation. But they also offered me a full-time job. I ended up turning it down just because I didn't want to go to that organization they were going to, but just another prime example of maintaining relationships. I was very easy to work with this person. They had a hard time integrating into the organization, and I made it very seamless for them. Being someone who is amenable to change and someone who is adaptable, someone who doesn't have an ego in the workplace and also in life, makes it really easy for people to want to work with you, do business with you, be around you. And that's generally how I approach most work environments in personal relationships. So it's not as hard to have quality people like come across my way, I guess. The reason why I give you guys the examples of my colleagues, and the reason why the title of this video is called Your Colleagues networks can make you a millionaire is because it's true. When your colleague goes to like a startup, like for example, take one of the tech founders of one of these like large organizations or some of these like new AI organizations that are popping up, right? They often go back to the companies that they used to work at. They go and look for the person who's smart, who's quick, who's agile, who's adaptable. They go and look for the person that may not have been their best friend at work, but they know has a great work output that they can start this new venture with. A lot of biotech and pharma companies, there's so many like startups out there. There's hundreds of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but like 20s, tens of thousands of startups in this industry. And that goes for any industry, right? Even in tech, there's tens of thousands of startups. Those people who leave the Google or they leave the Facebook or they leave whoever, I think even the people who started Blue Sky left Twitter. It was a bunch of Twitter colleagues who went and started Blue Sky themselves. And who did they bring? They probably brought people they previously worked with that were easy and agile and adaptable. Now Blue Sky is worth whatever it's worth. All those people that they brought over are likely millionaires. There are a lot of AI organizations, I can't think of them off the top of my head, that are now just getting started. And all those organizations that started, they brought their colleagues or their friends or people who were in their network who they had good relationships with, that they felt it would be easy to build a business with them, to come over to this organization, and they're all millionaires. That's why I say your colleagues or the people in your network have a higher probability of directly affecting your net worth and your earned outcome. So it's important to build relationships with people if you want to take yourself to the next level in terms of financial status. So now that I've given you kind of a background and an introduction to how building really great relationships in my professional and personal career have helped me gain opportunities, I kind of want to give you guys 4 tips on how to build a strong network or just how to build relationships that help evolve your life. Tip number 1 is going to be talk to everyone. I think some people need to hear the fact that you are not Queen Elizabeth. A lot of people have very high or strong egos that they just feel so comfortable placing themselves or their value above other people. They just feel the need to be like, yeah, I'm better than this person, so I don't understand why I would need to associate with this kind of person. That's like insane. I don't know why people do that, because a lot of people who, they go on to achieve great things, they're like, yeah, I invested in my friend who like dropped out of college and they had no money and they were struggling, and I invested in their business and their business ended up being worth $20-30 million, whatever. There's a lot of stories like that out there. People who are humble are the ones who are able to see past society's perception of a person and still be interested in investing in who that person is. That is what is important. That is why I'm saying talk to everybody. There are people who, when I was 17, they gave me my first job. I've talked about this before. I worked at Keller Williams Real Estate in the town that I lived in, and that was my first job. I got to be an executive assistant to the CEO and the CFO. I got to work with the director of first impressions. I got to do a lot of different things, and it's because they just saw potential in me rather than just being like, oh, this is just some kid. Like, why would I pay attention to that? And even from then, I later on helped the CFO or the CEO's kids with their like college applications and studying for the SAT and stuff like that, just because we maintained a really good relationship throughout the years. I'm still really cool with the rest of those people. I could go back there right now and ask for a job if I really, really, really needed one. But the point is, talk to everybody. My fiance is really good about this. He talks to everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're willing to have a conversation with him, he's willing to engage. I mean, he just believes that you never know who you're speaking to and you never know what someone's worth in terms of like what they can offer you. And a lot of times it doesn't even have to be monetary. People can offer you wisdom. They can offer you guidance. They can connect you to someone that they know. You don't know who people know. So yeah, tip number 1 is talk to everyone and have a level of humility and understanding that you don't have to just seek relationships with people just because you're going to get something from them immediately. That is gross. And that is why it's so hard for a lot of people to build relationships. And I'm going to keep reiterating that because I don't think some people really understand. Yeah. Number 2 is focus on curating relationships as opposed to just building a network. I think the word network has like this really bad connotation to it, because when you say network, people just focus on like, okay, how is this person going to help me get my promotion? How is this person going to help me make more money? How is this person going to do this for me? You're thinking about all the things someone can do for you as opposed to just like who you can be to this person. And sometimes it's going to be that way. It's a give and take. And that's why I say I care more about like building real relationships with people as opposed to just like, what can this person do for me? I've had friends since I was 12, 13, 14, and they're still in my life to this day. We're all in different places in our lives, but they have given me so much emotionally. I say one of my best friends from like middle school, she is so into like expressing herself and like therapy and just like being the best version of you and really understanding and conceptualizing what certain emotions and actions mean. If she had not been my friend from childhood, I probably wouldn't be as this emotionally evolved. And I've told her this like many times before, that having someone around me who was so self-actualized allowed for me to want to pursue that level of emotional connectivity with myself, essentially. That's a form of having someone in my network or having a relationship with someone that's bettered my life and contributed to my life in a different kind of way. Now, for a colleague example, I have colleagues that we connected at work about like family or friends or loss. For those of you who don't know, I lost my sister during COVID. I also lost my father when I was like 19 years old. And that's something that I'm very open about. Like when people ask me questions about, oh, do you have any siblings? I say, yeah, I'm one of 4. And they ask, about my, other siblings. Sometimes I'll say, yeah, I had a younger sister, but she ultimately passed away or something like that. And then it starts a broader conversation about various different things. Or I talk about my father and then someone will be like, oh yeah, I also lost a parent, and we bond over that, or we've had conversations about it, how it's affected our lives, how we have different outlooks about different things based on those experiences. So there's things that happened in my life. And obviously now I'm planning a wedding and getting married. So people are sharing stories with me about what planning a wedding was like for them and, how they navigate certain issues or situations in their relationship. So it's just easy to connect with people based on that. And then you maintain a relationship with those people even after you leave that organization. Those are the kind of things that you experience, and based on your reaction to those situations that you've endured, people see like your character, your characteristics, and they're like, okay, this is someone that I could like work with in the future, or the potential to like build a relationship with. But anyway, I had a colleague that I bonded with or had conversations with about like loss and stuff like that, and they always used to just make comments and say like, I think we approach life very similarly. Like we don't let things get to us. We're very even keeled, very calm, and I think it's because of like these different things that we've experienced, and we just know at the end of the day, none of this drama matters. Why would you not want to work with someone that has similar perspectives to you, that is easy to work with? So that is how I've gotten opportunities from situations like that. Or I've bonded with people over having my master's in public health. The colleague actually that texted me while I'm making this video, we both got our MPH, and we bonded over how much we loved our programs and how much it's helped us grow as professionals in regulatory affairs. So you never know who can do something for you or who someone can be for you or to you. And that's why I say it's important to focus on building relationships with people as opposed to just focusing on what you can get from them by having them in your network. Number 3 is maintain the relationships that you do build beyond your own needs. There's nothing worse than someone who only reaches out to you when you need something. That is annoying. And that is not a network. That is a soul-sucking, draining relationship where you constantly have to pour into other people that never pour into you. There's nothing relation about that. There's no relation there. You're just using me to do things for you. No real benefit. I had someone reach out to me asking me to help them like look for jobs and stuff like that. This is someone that I had grown up with. We hadn't spoken in years. They had never checked on me, nothing whatsoever. We had like no dynamic. And the first thing I hear from them is, hey, can you help me apply for jobs and do this for me and do that for me and blah, blah, blah. I literally left them on red because we don't have a relationship. So there's no value for me there. Even if you would have just checked on how I was doing, seeing how I was, and then maybe a week later been like, hey, I was wondering if you could help me with X, Y, and Z. I don't know. You can always just tell when it feels so like not genuine. And even after I denied that request, I haven't heard from that person since. There's no relationship there. Don't maintain relationships out of your own needs. No. For colleagues, I always tell people, schedule coffee chats. What we're doing right now is a coffee chat. Call someone or message someone that you previously worked with and said, hey, I'd love to catch up just to hear about like what's going on in your life, what programs you're working on, just like anything. Like just let me know what's going on just so we can touch base. Again, praising my fiance so much in this video. He does this all the time. He will like go through his LinkedIn and see that like a friend just announced something and he'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to schedule a coffee chat with them virtually and just catch up. I'm like, what do you mean schedule a coffee chat virtually? But yeah, he does that all the time. Me, I just love calling and texting people. So that's generally what I do. When I go on walks, I'll call people or check on them. And that is how you build great relationships with people. Maintain it. It's not a one and done type situation. And number 4, make sure you are connecting the people you have relationships with other people. Don't sequester that person just for yourself. My fiance connected me with someone else. He doesn't keep people in his network just for him. No. It's for anybody. And he will connect, like even, I remember I had a friend who was applying to an MBA program because my fiance got his MBA, and my friend spoke with him, had a whole conversation about like what they wanted to do with it, whatever. He connected my friend with a bunch of people in his network who had gone to like Columbia Business School, Harvard Business School, Yale Business School. He didn't have to do that, but he's not the kind of person who sequesters his relationships just for himself. If there's value add for other people who he has relationships with, why not? Why not be the person that adds value value to the people in your life. It's not just about you and how people can serve you. Relationships are all about helping each other. It's communal. And I think when you change your perspective on what networking means and really start to think about it from the lens of it's just about building relationships and forming connection with people, about common ground. Not everyone's going to want to have a relationship with you or be in your network, and that's okay. That's something you also have to be okay with and move on. But at the core, it's about offering value to one another, not just what people can do for you. That is the end of this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it changed your perspective on what it really means to build a network or have connections with people, and understand that your value in this world is not only what you can get or what you can make or how you can do everything by yourself, but what you can offer other people in the world. That's really what it's about. It's about helping other people and maintaining relationships through connection and conversations. And I promise you, when you start to think of things this way, so many more things will come around your way. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this chat. I know I did. And if there's any other things you want me to discuss, per usual, leave them down in the comment section below. If you have not watched some of my other coffee chat videos, make sure you check out that playlist. And some of you are not subscribed to my channel, but you're watching the content. So I need that number of like 80% of people who are watching my videos but not subscribed to change. I need it to be 100%. So make sure you hit that subscription button so you never miss a video. I post every Monday and every Wednesday. Until next time, see you guys and have a great morning.